The movie starts in a dark, creepy room where a camera is recording. Jay is crying and bleeding with a collar around his neck, while the host's voice congratulates him for winning.
You are our winner!
Jay was promised he could go home after the game was over, but the host says it is time for the final round. 3 boxes are revealed, and Jay must choose one. He pulls a string to open a box, and a shotgun appears. The host thanks Jay for playing and pulls another string, dragging a toy that eventually fires the shotgun, killing him. Meanwhile, 4 friends arrive at a summer house. It once belonged to James's uncle, who committed suicide after his wife ruined his investments. To celebrate Anita's birthday, the group spends the entire day having fun. In the evening, James starts a game of truth or dare, but Anita doesn't trust her friends, questions, and chooses to pass. Melissa asks for a dare, and James tells her to kiss Anita. However, Melissa doesn't want him to objectify her preferences and refuses. James insists that it's his house, and that he should get what he wants, while Anita admits she doesn't mind. The girls share a short kiss, and then James tries to kiss Melissa as well, but she immediately pushes him away. A furious James complains about their lack of cooperation. Suddenly, they hear a strange noise outside. Matthew thinks it's nothing and says they shouldn't worry, but more noises soon follow. Everyone freezes and stares at the back door. James takes the opportunity to jump scare them. Anita wonders if they should call the cops, while James grabs a fire poker and goes outside to check. The others prank him by turning off the lights, forcing him to use his phone. Suddenly, he is startled by a scream, but it turns out to be Melissa, who had sneaked outside. At that moment, James finds something hidden in the plants and brings it inside. Everyone is shocked to see a camera with a tape, which James wants to watch. Matthew thinks it's creepy, and Anita believes it was a bad idea to bring it inside. When James reminds her that he owns the house, Anita points out that nobody actually likes him, and that they only spend time with him because of his money. She then destroys the tape. A furious James yells at them and demands they leave, saying horrible things about Anita's sick mother. For now, the friends retreat to their rooms. Meanwhile, a mysterious person silently enters the house. James is taking a shower when he sees the bathroom doors suddenly open. He grabs his razor and prepares to defend himself, but it turns out to be Melissa again. She says she might be interested in him, and he shows her what's under the towel, but she only laughs, revealing it was another prank. Matthew starts picking up trash in the living room, unaware of a shadow in the neighboring room. He notices the red light on the camera, and when he finally turns around, the shadow is gone. After taking out the trash, Matthew goes upstairs and is shocked to find Anita unconscious. When he checks on Melissa, she's in the same condition.
James! James! The girls won't wake up! James!
He calls James, but the mysterious person surprises him from behind and injects him with something. Matthew runs downstairs looking for James but can't find him. He then runs outside and collapses. Sometime later, the 4 friends wake up chained to a wall while a camera records them. They see their attacker whistling and moving things around before leaving the room. James tries pulling at the chain but fails. Their kidnapper watches them with amusement through security cameras in his dressing room. The man returns, and the group finally sees Barry, the masked host. He presses a button, pulling the chains tighter. After a countdown, the lights turn on, revealing mannequins meant to represent the audience. Music and recorded applause play as Barry introduces the 4 players, shocking Anita by revealing personal details about their lives.
Nerdy man Matt. Oh, we've got Melissa, the dog lover. And then we've got James and the giant bank account. And last but not least, we've got Anita, Mooey, Bonita. Let's give him a big round of applause, shall we?
How does he know us?
Barry tells them to play rock, paper, scissors, but the group is confused. Annoyed, he calls for a commercial break and returns to his dressing room. While grabbing shears from a drawer, he accidentally cuts his hand. James believes it's all a reality show prank, but Anita points out that real shows don't sedate participants. James insists someone else set it up, but Anita reminds him that he's the only one rich enough to afford this. After bandaging his hand, Barry returns with the shears and forces them to play. The results are unclear, so he lets the women go first. Anita plays paper while Barry uses an invalid move. He admits his mistake and lets her choose a prize, scissors or shoot. She chooses shoot. Because Melissa played paper earlier, Barry forces her mouth open and slices the corners with a card. Matthew played rock, so Barry hits him on the head with a rock. Next, Barry cuts off one of James's fingers. Finally, he pulls out a gun and fires at Anita, but it only releases a flame. Instead, he slams her into the wall by pulling her chain, knocking her out. Hours later, Anita wakes up as James starts accusing everyone again. Barry returns and reveals the Wheel of Pain. When everyone begs for mercy, he offers a bonus round. Confess the worst thing they've ever done to earn a chance to live. James goes first and refuses to talk, so Barry strikes him with a cane. James finally admits he caused a car accident and let his father take the blame. The victim died because James never called an ambulance. Under pressure, he reveals the victim's name was Ashley.
Ashley, her name was Ashley.
Yeah.
Barry then threatens Anita, who confesses she created an adult website to pay for her mother's surgery and deeply regrets it.
To pay for my mom's surgery.
Matthew admits he scams people online and has monitored his friends' activities.
I scam people online. I watched what all you guys did online.
He stole an old couple's identity but lost the money by accidentally sending it to a blockchain address. Melissa admits she sold pit bulls from animal shelters to a dogfighting ring, claiming they would have been put down anyway. Barry forces Melissa to spin the wheel. She must identify famous cities using a viewfinder to survive. She correctly identifies Paris and New York, but fails the third image. Barry prepares to punish her, but the others beg for another chance. When Melissa presses the button again, a needle stabs her eye. Everyone panics and refuses to spin the wheel. Barry spins it for James instead and lands on his favorite punishment. He grabs a drill and says he should chase James, but decides he talks too much. After flipping a coin, James survives. Barry hands the drill to Anita and orders her to drill Matthew's ear or he'll kill the others. A countdown begins, forcing Anita to comply. Matthew screams in agony. Anita drops the drill, breaking it. Enraged, Barry yells at her for breaking the rules. He removes the tape from the camera, labels it with Matthew's name, and adds it to a collection of tapes. Moments later, Barry returns and announces that the next round will be different. A screen labels the game Wildcard as Barry explains the rules. One question is asked, everyone answers, and the highest score wins. Barry says he asked 100 people to name the body part that aches the most, and wants the players to guess the answers. Matthew says the head, Melissa says the knees, and Anita answers the stomach. James keeps trying to reach Barry to attack him, but the chain only makes him fall. Barry freaks out and says his own answer is the neck, adding that they are all a pain in his neck. Barry then pulls out pieces of paper with the answers. Number 1 is head, number 2 is muscles, number 3 is neck, and number 4 is feet. Matthew points out that these answers don't add up to 100. Barry then finds another paper with stomach written on it, which ranks higher than muscles. This means Melissa has lost the game. Barry pulls back the chains and activates a hydraulic press. The machine lowers its ram over Melissa's head and lightly taps it before Barry stops the machine. He announces a bonus round and asks if anyone wants to change places with Melissa, but they all refuse. After Melissa begs for her life, Barry restarts the press, crushing her head. Afterward, Barry removes the tape and returns to free Melissa's body as the lights flicker. Laughing, he drags her corpse away, leaving a trail of blood. In his dressing room, Barry removes his mask and mutilates his own face, the same way he did to Melissa's mouth. Other scars suggest this isn't the first time. Meanwhile, James keeps pulling at his chain and hears a strange noise.
What was that sound?
Barry returns with a TV and plays a video showing Rebecca strapped to a chair and being tortured. He then sits in front of Anita and removes his mask. She apologizes before he puts it back on. The video shows Barry killing Rebecca with a chainsaw. After Barry leaves, James says the man looks familiar. Anita realizes Matthew knows she lied about the adult website, and Matthew confirms it. He then tells James that Anita once worked on The Barry Miller Show. James blames her for everything and demands an explanation. Anita explains that Barry Miller was once a very successful game show host and that she was part of his crew. One day, she and her co-workers saw on the news that a talk show host accused of abuse had been acquitted after the victims withdrew their testimonies. Rebecca was disgusted, while Anita wondered if the man might be innocent. Jake suggested the victims were paid off after noticing one of them driving a new car. Rebecca argued that networks protected predators to save their image, and claimed Barry was one of them. Whoever exposed him could earn enough money to pay for Anita's mother's surgery. Rebecca said Barry once grabbed her, and because she didn't play along, she was never promoted. Jake accused her of lying. Their conversation was interrupted when Barry arrived with a cake for Anita and made everyone sing Happy Birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
When Barry touched Anita's shoulders, Rebecca snapped and told him to stop touching women, creating an awkward scene. Later, Rebecca and Jake convinced Anita to file a complaint with Human Resources. The company immediately offered Anita money in exchange for signing a non-disclosure agreement and leaving the show. Back in the present, Barry returns. James tells him he shouldn't punish him, only Anita, and even offers to help Barry with his family's money and his father's connections. Barry pretends to like the idea of getting his show and family back, and says he'll send James's head to his father. He then brings out the severed head of the company's lawyer and forces Anita to eat his tongue. Meanwhile, James keeps pulling his chain and finally breaks free. He knocks Barry down and prepares to attack him, but Barry activates a hidden taser in the chain, electrocuting all three until they lose consciousness. They wake up strapped to tables and notice scars on their stomachs. Barry announces the next game, Incision Decision, and throws a blade to Anita before running to his dressing room. Over the speakers, Barry explains that there are 2 keys inside Matthew's and James's stomachs. Only one key is needed to open the door. Anita refuses, but Barry threatens to leave them to starve. James offers Anita money if she saves him. At first, it looks like she will choose Matthew, but she turns to James instead. She cuts open his stomach and reaches inside while his body shakes. After she finds the key, James dies. Anita runs to the door, but it does not open. Barry laughs and says the door is sealed with magnets. He frees Matthew and says only one person can win. Matthew picks up the blade and tells Anita that only one of them can live. He says he loves her, kisses her cheek, and makes her promise to survive before killing himself. Barry congratulates Anita and releases sleeping gas. When she wakes up, the bodies are gone and the door is open. She looks around the dressing room, finds tapes of the victims, and steals the card. She washes the blood off in the bathroom, and later finds a room with a picture of Barry and his wife, along with scary drawings. Anita walks down a hallway and finds Barry waiting to play one last game. She sits in front of 3 boxes and jumps when a confetti bomb goes off. Barry says he is already dead because she killed him. Anita offers to tell the truth, but Barry does not react. He then threatens to kill her mother if she does not choose a box. Anita pulls a string and finds a cake inside. As Barry sings, "Happy Birthday," Anita cuts his face with the card and runs outside. She thinks it is over, but Barry uses a taser and drags her back inside. He says each scar on his face stands for a killing, and Anita has now added one. Barry pushes her face into the cake, but no weapon appears. He lets her go and laughs at her. Suddenly, Anita's face starts burning and her eyes turn red. She screams in pain, stumbles down the hallway, and slowly dies. Barry sits next to her and hums the theme song of his show. A final tape shows Barry torturing the talk show host until he admits the abuse was real and the company paid off the victims. Barry then kills him with a hammer. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.